Good morning, everybody. So I just did a tour of inside the greenhouse. So I wanted to do a tour of what my raised beds are looking like. And obviously the first thing you see is my bolted spinach. All that right there, and right there. And also I have some bolted tatsoi right there. And I decided I was going to leave those so they can go to seed. And in the meantime, I'm actually getting ready to harvest my wasabi. Let's see if I can show you that. Not sure if you can see that. They're really big. I'm going to pull that one here shortly and I'll show it to you. We have my Auntie Molly cherries, which have become prolific. I'm okay with that. And then we have, let's see if I can bring you in for that, my squash. We have a tomato right there. Some spinach, which is bolted. And in here, we have a row of Swiss chard that is now ready for me to start picking. I have some beans that I'm trellising, and the beans are on both sides of the arch. And there's my black kale. And I've started picking the black kale and I really like it. So I have some more coming up in the green stalks. Oh, I have a slight problem right there. I have those grasshoppers and they just seem to be everywhere. So as much as I don't want to, I'm going to be using some diatomaceous earth to get rid of them. And I realize they'll get rid of the good bugs, but yeah, the grasshoppers have to go. And I've also seen a few in the greenhouse this morning. As you can see, my Egyptian walking onions are doing quite well. And I think they're just about ready to get picked because I noticed that they've started laying down. As you can see, that one has started laying down. So they should be ready to be pulled soon. And then this over here right there, and that right there, that's my Delice de la table melons. They're finally coming up, I guess because they're getting sunshine now. And I'm not sure what this one is. I forgot to label that one. And then over here I have the Lakota, I believe it's called the Lakota melon. Let's see if I can pull the label. As you can see, that one's quite big. And I've started gently guiding it up the trellis. You can see that right in there. And let's see, what's the name? Oh, squash. It's right there. It's a Lolita squash. Some more of the Egyptian walking onion. Lots of cilantro. And my garlic. So today is July the 4th, and it looks like in another few days the garlic is going to be ready to go. In fact, I think I can pull it now. I did pull one yesterday, an Ivan, and it looked like it was ready. But as you can see, we only have browning on about 2 leaves, and I'd like to wait until we have 3 or 4 before I start pulling them. And then over here we have some miscellaneous items. A bit honeydew melon. I'd actually given up on that one and it's finally coming up. And then we have the chocolate pear tomato. I believe this tiny thing over here is the berries crazy cherries, and I didn't know if that was going to grow or not. It just didn't seem to want to start, but there it is. And then we have some more beans, and so I'm doing navy beans, Cannellini. I'll put it in the description. Cannellini beans, I think. I have another squash over here, and this is the spaghetti squash. Some more beans, and my bolted lettuce. And somewhere in here, okay, some more beans. We have a butternut squash, another spaghetti squash, and let's see what else. Honey nut. That one right there, that's the honey nut squash. And there is my row of Swiss chard. I know you can barely see it, but one of the reasons why I didn't pull any of the stuff that is bolting is also because it's providing shade for the Swiss chard and the spinach, although it's now time to pull the spinach. But that has kept them going a little longer. Some more bolted lettuce, and I'm just going to let them go to seed and pour in there, and hopefully I won't have to buy any more lettuce seeds for a while. And we have another wasabi right there. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one just so you can see what they look like. Wow, that's huge. It's really huge. And so this is the Japanese wasabi radish, and I just planted a few of them. I got a free pack from Baker Creek, so I decided to plant a few as an experiment. So I believe I have 2 more in the greenhouse, and then these 2 that have been out here. That one's not as big, but it's still big enough. Slightly smaller than the other one. Right there. So those 2 are ready to go. And then what I'm going to do in this space, I'm not going to leave it open like that. I'll probably put in some cilantro seed, because that's what I'm using as a ground cover. Oh, and we have another tomato in here. I know it looks really bushy, but I like it like that because nothing seems to be bolting if I grow things thickly like that. So this right here is another black Karim tomato, and so that's the Swiss chard I showed you earlier. That's the rainbow variety. And these 2 tomatoes over here were the cherry tomatoes, a chocolate cherry tomato. All right, now for the other bed. Barely have enough space to get in here. All right, I like this bed. So in this bed, we have the Tierra cabbage. We have the Chinese broccoli. That's another Chinese broccoli. And that's the Flanders poppy flowers. Oh, right there, same flower. We have another cabbage. And then back there, somewhere in hiding, we have some okra. It's right behind the Chinese broccoli. And then obviously you see the beans all through the back. And in between, I also have the zinnias. We have the zinnias right there. and another one right there. So there's a row of zinnias in between the beans. Then we have a row of spinach, which is now starting to bolt, which is okay. We've had quite a bit of spinach. And then there's another row of Swiss chard, and this is the yellow Swiss chard. And then we have a zucchini. There's a zucchini back there. And then we have another yellow Swiss chard and a tomato back there, and that's a black karim. And we also have more of the Auntie Molly cherries way in the back. Let's see what else we have. And we have another tomato in there. I'm not sure if you can see that. So what I've been doing, and maybe I can show you over here, I cut off the leaf out of the tomatoes, but I leave the little buds that come out in the little armpit, and I just let those grow. And as they get bigger, I'll come back. Like here's an example. There's one down here. As it gets a little bigger, I'm going to come and cut it off and start another tomato. And I'm not sure how many of those are going to make it. So hopefully they'll make it in time and produce some tomatoes. And I'm only picking a few from the bottom. And I have some black karims that are already producing in the greenhouse. I think I showed you that in the video I just did for that. Let's see, what else do we have? I had planted some eggplant, the rosa eggplant, and I don't think that came up. Let's see. Until I saw that little one right over there. So it looks like one came up. I don't know what happened to the rest of them. They didn't come up in the front. But I have some Turkish eggplants in the container in the front, so I'm not too worried about the eggplant. And we have one more raised bed. Let me see if I can show it to you right over there. And I'll show you that next. So I finally put a cover on this little raised bed because of all the grasshoppers that we're seeing. So let me show you how the zucchinis are doing. So we have the Max Gold and the Emerald Delight. So the Max Gold are the yellow zucchini. And if I can zoom in here for you, you can probably see it right there. You can see the little yellow zucchini. So I'm really pleased with that. That's a Max Gold over there. Hasn't quite started producing yet. And then the Auntie Molly cherries. That's looking really nice and big. And then in here we have my Snapdragons. And then that's the Emerald Delight squash or zucchinis. Oh, that one's doing well. That one is already flowering. That's a Max Gold. And I don't know if you can see, we have several little zucchinis in there. 1, 2, we have 2 little zucchinis and 2 flowers that are ready to pollinate the zucchini. Down here I have a jalapeno, and it's growing really slow because I think it's not getting enough sun. So what I'll probably do is cut that leaf right there and maybe that one, so it can start getting more sunshine. And we have another snapdragon right there. We have the crimson red tomato right there. And then we have the sweet potato right there. Thank you, Amanda. There we go. And then we have some more Flanders poppy flowers right there. And another thing that I did, let's get this open. There we go. I moved my ginger plant from the front to back here to see if it would do any better, because there's more sun in here and it's covered with this netting. So, and I moved this yesterday, and I can see the leaves are already doing better. So we'll see how that goes. And then we have my Thai basil, which I had in the house during winter, and now it's out here. And in this pot, I got that from Amanda as well. I'm not sure what that is. I have to ask her again. And it almost died on me, but as soon as I put it in the sun, it looks like it's coming back. Then I have these two little plants. I'm not sure what those are. Some seeds must have fallen in there. We'll find out together. And then I have a tiny little chocolate pear. And it's going really, really slow. It's probably getting shaded too much by that sweet potato. So anyway, we'll see. Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of zucchini here shortly. I'm looking forward to that. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm really, really enjoying crowding the plants like this. I seem to be getting more harvest than I did last year, and it's probably because now the plants have ground cover and the ground is not getting too hot. So we'll see how this goes, and we'll see you on the next one when we do the next tour. Right, bye teenies.